Hello, hello, hello. Many of you have heard the song, What About My Friends? Do they stand their ground? Do they let you down? Oh, yeah? Now, I know you may not know all of the words to the song, so we're going to dig into that tonight. What about your friends? Especially in a society where we defriend people from social media. Walk out of this relationship, move from that relationship, and cut others off. Tonight, let's talk about how we nurture, how we build, how we set strong foundations for relationships, even in the midst of difficulties that not only affect us, but affect others, especially as women. Reagan, sis, are you ready? Let's talk about it.
Good evening and welcome to TCP Live Real Talk Wednesdays. This week we will be discussing the topic of friendships. So of course you know how we do here. If you have not already greeted your virtual neighbor, your brother, your sister, go ahead and do that, along with subscribe to our following media platforms and as well as share this live on tonight. So I have an amazing panel of guests with me here on this evening, and if you could all just introduce yourself, we'll start with Miss Kimberly and in with Miss Teresa and just kind of give us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been friends, things of that nature.
Good evening. My name is Kimberly, and I'm friends with Colleen tonight and always. No, beyond tonight. Colleen and I have been friends for 21 years, 2 decades. Grateful that I know her.
All of that. I am Colleen Bell, and I'm here to talk about my friendship with my sister friend. I call her my sister friend. Not only she's my friend, she's my sister, Kimberly Ben, and it has been 21 years.
My name is Shirley Damon, and I am friends with Star Hunter, and it's been around 20 years we've been friends since I transitioned from New York here to North Carolina and to Greater Salem.
And I'm Star Hunter. I've been friends with Shirley Damon for, just like she said, 21 years, 10 great friendship. I love her. She's like a sister to me. And I'm just so thankful that I have the opportunity to talk about my friend Shirley.
Hi, I'm Teresa Clifton, and I have a friend that we've been friends since 1985, so about 40 years, and she's in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Awesome. I love it. You can definitely feel the sincerity that each of you all possess regarding your friends. So that is amazing. So we'll start with the first question. How do you define friendship, and what are some expectations that you have regarding friendship? Elder Star Hunter, we'll start with you.
I define friendship as a close, comfort, and trusting individual like my friend Shirley is. The trust has brought us together. Comfort of emotion has brought us together as friends. And so that's how I see friendship with Shirley.
Awesome. What about you, Elder Damon?
I define friendship as a friend, someone who, loves at all times, and not when it's convenient for them, and someone who's there for you, someone you can trust, they can trust you, and someone who will be there for you when you need them. I define that as a true friend.
Awesome. I love it. What about you, Minister Coco?
Friendship to me is someone who is true. Truth. That's what bonds our friendship, is truth, honesty, and someone is just there for you in the good, bad, and the ugly. That's what a friend is. They accept your proclivities, they celebrate you no matter what, and they just, when you're being not nice, they're there. When you're being nice, they're there. They're just always there.
Awesome. And what about you, Miss Kimberly?
I agree. I agree with all that you've said. I think friendship is a camaraderie between two people, two or more people, where you can truly be yourself, right? Where you can let your hair down, you can have an organic relationship with someone. And I think what I have with Colleen is, not that you asked, but I think it's genuine, it's organic. So we don't try really hard. We just show up as ourselves and it just happens.
Awesome, I love it. So I've heard trust, honesty, love, all of that kind of seems to coincide. So Miss Teresa, what are some expectations that you have regarding friendship?
I expect someone that I'm going to be a friend with to be transparent and allow me to be me. Because if I can't be me, I can't be your friend. So that's what I'm looking for in a friend.
Awesome, I love it. So at what point do you call someone your friend? Is there sort of a way that you have to kind of gauge like, oh, we could be cool, like, or, you know how some people, you can call someone, consider yourself to be your friend, but they possibly don't see it the same way, or maybe, how to avoid calling someone a friend too soon. Do you have like some sort of test that you go by? How do you gauge that? Minister Coco, we can start with you.
It's just recently with Kim, it just automatically happened. I never gave Kim the label. She just was my friend, and I don't want to be too vogue, but she was just my road dog. It was just, she was that. And that label became sister friend. And then we just matured and grew. We grew. And we're still growing, One thing I could say about us, because we grew up in church, and so one thing I could say about our relationship and how it happened was my first cousin saw me in her, and that's how it happened. She said, "My cousin is you," and we met up, and it just happened. And so we could be sitting in church, and Kim be looking at me. I'll be thinking something. She'd be like, "Cut it out."
I love it. So it just kind of made sense. Yes. So Elder Damon, what about you? So at what point do you have some sort of test that you kind of gauge to see, okay, we're in it for the long run? What about you?
Well, like I said, a true friend doesn't have to be someone that, you got to call every day, every week, or whatever. During this time that Star and I has been friends, there has been time that we really didn't talk, maybe months. But that had nothing to do with our friendship. We were still friends. If she needed me, she knew she could call on me. If I needed her, I could call on her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. What about you, Elder Star Hunter?
On the onset, we met right here at Greater Salem Church, and we never knew each other before. But when we got to talking about different things, we found out that we had a lot in common. The same people, she knew the same people at the church that I left in New York. She knew everybody that I knew. And so that in and of itself started the spark of a good comfort relationship. And that just has grown throughout the years.
That's awesome. Miss Teresa, what about you? Is there some sort of test that you have to kind of gauge?
I don't really have a test. I'm a watcher of people, and my spirit, my spirit kind of blends with people. And I look for realness in people. I'm a very positive person, so if a person, I'm very, very careful when I call people friend, because I have more associates than friends. But my friends, I just watch people. And if there's something I like about them, because I talk to everybody, I immediately know.
Cool, love it. Miss Kimberly, would you like to add anything?
I was just thinking something to myself. So let me say this, and I just want to be honest with you. I am not looking to make new friends. And I think what I've learned over time is you have to allow people the space to be who they are. And it could be in my best intentions to want us to be friends, but just because that's what I want doesn't necessarily mean it's good for me. And I have been on that street before where I've been looking for reciprocity in relationship and friendship, and it hasn't been there. And there are some people that I've just had to say, I get it. I'm your friend or you're my friend, but we're not really each other's friends. You know what I'm saying? But you get there over time, right? And I think when you're genuine and you come to the table being honest, sometimes you expect the other people at the table to show up the same way that you did and they don't. You get disappointed.
Awesome. I love it. Again, if y'all have not shared this live on tonight, go ahead and do so. Such great conversation. We're going to kind of switch gears for a little bit. So with the next question, how do you not allow experiences from other friendships to bleed into new ones? Ms. Teresa, we'll start with you.
First thing I do is everybody has their own personality. So I don't believe in carrying baggage from one relationship to the other. Try driving a car looking in your rearview mirror, and because you will hit everything that's coming towards you. So I don't look behind me, I look forward. And everybody has their own personality, and they're wonderfully made by my experiences, by God. So I try to get to know a person on their own, and I try not to, if I meet someone and they tell me don't like someone, they can't be my friend, because I must be allowed to think for myself and be who I am.
Absolutely. I love it. So no extra baggage. Elder Herna, what about you? And we'll just go all the way down.
Well, I have other friends. I don't look for the same thing in the same friend. Friendships are different. And so because of that, the relationship that I have with my friend Shirley is different from the relationship that I would have for another friend. And that's the diversity right there.
Yeah, I love it. So honoring the differences, pretty much. Cool. Elder Damon, how about you?
Well, just like Star said, she has other friends. I have other friends also. We both allow each other to have friends and to be themselves with their friends. Now, there are some people that want to be friends with you, but they have a problem allowing you to be friends with other people that they don't care to be friends.
Right.
So, no. Whoever I'm friends with that person.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you are a friend of mine, then you have to accept that.
Absolutely. Love it. Minister Coco, what about you?
What was the question, Oprah?
Absolutely. How do you not allow experiences from other friendships to bleed into new ones?
Okay. I just had another conversation today. I make sure I have the conversation. So everyone knows that whoever is my friend, you're going to get Colleen all the time. You're going to get Coco. Most of my friends, and I don't have too many, they know Colleen and they know Coco. And I try to be upfront and before anything starts happening, and when I see it growing, if it ever, because I really don't, I'm not looking to start friends at this age and time. I just don't have the time. But the ones that I do have and the ones that are around, that are still around, to keep that friendship, that sister friendship going, or that brother friendship going, we have conversations, real conversations. You made me feel this way. Well, I took it this way. Was it that way? Just having conversations.
Awesome. And Miss Kimberly, what about you?
I bring all my baggage.
Okay.
In a good way.
Okay.
I'm bringing all of my experiences to this relationship, but I'm giving it an opportunity to organically grow, right? I think it's important that we don't forget what we've learned along the way, right? Because you meet me in this moment, but I am a complete package, right, of everything I've experienced up until right now. So I'm not bringing the baggage in a negative sense, but I am bringing all of my experiences, and the hope is that I've learned something from the last relationship that can improve this one.
That's good. Love it. Great. Next question. So how do you give space for offense and forgiveness? Sometimes we can be in a utopia of never thinking our friends will cross the line or disappoint us. So because of that, we're shocked, hurt, or surprised by an action. So how do you have ways to give space for offense and forgiveness? Whoever can start. Ms.
Well,
Teresa? Yeah, go.
I just had this conversation with my friend, one of my friends in Georgia. And I said, I'm going to forgive you for hurting me, even though you don't know you hurt me. And she said, well, I'm sorry, I hurt you and I didn't know. I said, well, I'm just letting you know up front because that's what friends do. And just be real. People are looking for realness. And to be my friend, because first I am my friend. Because I can't have friends if I can't be my own friend. And so I know what a friend looks like because I'm a friend. So you might not have the same characteristics I have, but I'm going to forgive you. I'm going to give you distance. I'm not manipulative. And that's what we have to be very careful in friendships. Yeah. Because we can manipulate people in the spirit of friendship. And you're not going to manipulate me. I'm sorry, manipulate me. Because I'm allowed, God made me in his image, not yours. Right. And I have to be me because I'm good at doing that. Yeah. So that's how I feel.
Awesome. So whoever wants to go next. Minister Coco?
Oh, yeah, I like that question. Yeah, definitely being real. I like that. I'm a friend to me. Hi, Coco. Hi, Coco. Yeah, I like that. But definitely, being real and having a conversation. And you talked about offense. That was in the question. I've learned that offense is a choice. And as I grow in friendships and relationships, I choose not to be offended. First thing that I do when something is opposed to me and it seems like it's offending me, I start evaluating me. And so I'm the type of person, I'm always repentant and I want to see what inside of me made me feel that way. So I deal with that dark side in me. Once I figure that dark side of me, and if I'm released to say what that person did to me to make me feel that way, then I do it. Because sometimes it's not always that person. When they say something to you or may try to make you feel like you feel some kind of way, it's actually them trying to show you you.
Yeah, that's good.
Exposure.
So I just want to piggyback on what she said. So this is why I think it's important, right, that you bring your luggage, right, your past experiences, because that wisdom is going to help you to manage this relationship. I think it's key, right, that I always turn the gun on myself first. I always turn the gun on myself first. Like, was it me? Was it Monday? Was I having a bad day? Is it possible I heard it a certain way because I was dealing with something, as opposed to projecting it onto her, like, no, you was out of order. Was I? What did I say? So I think for me, I am always examining myself first to make sure I'm not being super sensitive or projecting something else that I'm dealing with onto you, making it your fault. I need to be accountable.
I love it. Sounds good.
And I'm going to piggyback on that, accountability. That I need to look at me first. But even more than that, after I looked at myself, after I said self, whatever it is, I need to go to my friend and ask her. I can't be closed mouth and let the buck stop at me. Right. I still need to know, what have I done to offend you? Yeah. What can I do to make it better? So I need to speak up and speak out with that friend that I have maybe done something.
That's great. That kind of goes right into our next question. So how do you move forward from offense? Elder Hunter, you elaborated on just kind of figuring out what it is that needs to be done, just kind of having a conversation. So, Elder Damon, how do you move on from offense?
How do I?
Move forward from offense.
Well, I don't think, as far as a true friend, I guess I'm just blessed.
That's good.
I have never, as long as we've been friends now, if I'm not right, you let me know. But we have never had to go to each other with that problem. And I've got other friends that I guess I just take things in and, I don't know. But
That's
I never
good.
had to deal with it.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Miss Kimberly, what about you? How do you move forward from offense?
I just move on.
Okay.
I just move on.
Okay.
Right? And embedded in the moving forward is forgiveness. Right? Sometimes you got to forgive yourself for being foolish about what really didn't happen, right? Holding them accountable to something they really didn't say or do. I mean, I really think we overcomplicate relationships at times.
Yeah.
We make things more than what we need. You looked at me the wrong way. You didn't say it right. Colleen's like, let me drive, get in the passenger seat. I'm like, but I want you to go this way. We're just starting arguments and issues about things that are unnecessary.
Yeah.
I think the best way to move forward from an offense is to move forward.
I love
You,
it.
you agree, disagree?
It's a choice for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to be in the spirit of offense. So I try not to place myself there. But if I am offended, because let's be real, we all get offended. Let's be real, church. If I am offended, I do take time to deal with it in meditation, thinking about it. I've grown not to let it, manipulate me. I've grown to either deal with it or, you're right, Kim, just move on. Because I do believe everything has its time.
Yes.
And restoration is, I just told someone today, we can't manipulate forgiveness. You can't expect someone you can't manipulate the way I forgive you, and I can't manipulate the way I want you to forgive me. Some people don't say I'm sorry. They just start doing. Some people say I'm sorry, and you have to have that discernment in your friendship, and offense shouldn't even really be a treasure in a friendship. It shouldn't even be there. You know what I'm saying? But if it does happen, because I'm not saying it's not going to happen, if it does happen, learn how to balance it, learn how to deal with it, and move on. So I do agree with Kim moving on, but I also agree with, let's be real, we all get offended, and how do we deal with the offense? It's a choice. It's definitely a choice, because you can sit there and be offended and be all sick and getting dis-ease for no reason. And she said that your color was blue and it was really black, and it's not even necessary.
Well, I think that a lot of what happens in our adult life starts we carry it from our childhood. And friendship starts when we're children, and how our parents guided us through the friendship. We basically do our friendships on what we saw our parents did. So because my mother had friends, and I saw how she treated friends, how she dealt with the issues, I carried that into my adulthood. So a lot of what goes on when you're adult, you can trace it back to the child. What in you said it early, what is in you that make you feel that way? And I think friendship is real, but it's simple. If it costs you a lot to be someone's friend, give it up, boo. They're not your friend. Because your friends are people that when you need them, you don't have to call. They're there.
Would anyone else like to add anything before we jump into our next question? Sounds good. Hey. So there was a post that said, you're forgiven, but access is denied. Has anyone ever found themselves drawing the line when it comes to access after an offense in friendship? And if so, was the line to protect you or them from you? Ms. Kimberly, you can start.
Yes, and both. Boundaries are necessary, right? And I think there is, and Colleen and I have had this conversation before, there's a difference between forgiveness and reconciliation, right? Because I can forgive you from a thing, we can reconcile the issue, but we don't have to sit at the same table again, right? We don't have to have pajama parties. You don't have to come over. Forgiveness is necessary. But do we need to come back to where we were? We'll never be where we were because there was a breach in the relationship. I think it's important, and I started out by saying this, right? Relationships should be organic. Nobody's perfect. We're going to make mistakes, but you got to be able to recover from that.
We're just going down, Minister Coco.
Ditto. And I get this from our bishop. When I first came here, he said something, and it's been embedded in my spirit. It's part of my life. There's repentance, reconciliation, and restoration. The requirement of the believer is to repent and reconcile. Restoration definitely is a promise. It's coming, but it doesn't have to be this. It doesn't have to be where you left off. Restoration is, okay, I see you at a church event, I say hi and bye. But we ain't going to eat dinner together.
Awesome. Elder Damon?
Well, I have a lot, well, not a lot, but I do have friends that are much younger than I am. In fact, I could be their mother. And they respect me, and they come to me for advice. And I'm a good listener. And, well, to be a good friend, you need to be a good listener. Because sometimes they want to talk, and you want to talk too. But God gave us 2 ears,
Yeah.
1 mouth.
Awesome.
So that means we are to listen more than talk. And I'm a good listener. And they respect me, and they come to me for advice. And I appreciate that.
Sounds good. So, Elder Hunter, have you ever found yourself drawing the line when it comes to access to you after an offense? And if so, was it to protect you or them from you?
But I heard her say both, and I agree with that. That's both for me as well. Offenses are different. All offenses are not the same. So you're not going to approach that offense the same way. I would like to think that through prayer, and yes, we are in a church, I'd like to think that through prayer, the Spirit of God will let me know exactly what to do. He brings things back to our remembrance. And if that remembrance is, you did this, not her, that will go back to what I said before about going to that person. Because I do remember, Scripture says, if you have aught against your brother, go to him. You have aught against that friend, go to them and, what's the word? Reconcile. Reconcile. And through reconciliation, everything else will come.
Yes. Love it. Miss Teresa?
Well, I was a blocker. I would block you. But I went to therapy. And my therapist said to me, that's a coward way out. He said, you faced it, you look at them, and he even reminded me, he wasn't even a Christian. Jesus forgave and he moved on. So I'm going to be better. I don't block people. I look in people's face, and I'm nice. And I tell them, you did this. See, the thing is, we want to tell everybody else the offenses, but we don't want to tell the person. So I don't waste time. I tell people straight up where it's at in a nice way, and I love them and tell them, why do you think it was okay to do that? Because people are always going to offend you, but you have to restore them. And restoration is all levels. everybody you can't go to dinner with. I've had friends, they were users. And we all probably had them. They ate at my house all the time, but they never invited you to eat. And I've carried them, put gas in their car and did everything. But the thing is, you have to restore people. But you might not, like she said, you might not be able to carry them, but I don't block them. When I see them, I'm glad to see them. How are you doing? Because I want them to know I'm not who you are. I'm me. I'm going to be me. I'm good at that.
Please pray for me because I still block.
Love the block button. So we're down to our last question before turning it back over to Lady Farrar. So I want everyone to answer, whoever can jump in and start. So if you could just share some advice to people who might struggle with making friends.
Well, I'll answer that. I make friends easy because I talk to everyone about nothing. And I start out with a smile because the problem is I was always taught when I was younger, that even in the military, black women didn't know how to be friends. So we grew up with that stigma, oh, she's out to get you. First of all, to start with friends, look in the mirror every day. I carry a little mirror with me. And I look at myself. And I said, I'm going to give them me. And so when I'm talking to people, I'm friendly. In order to have a friend, you got to be friendly. If you don't like yourself, you're not going to like it. You're going to find something wrong with everybody. Their nose is crooked. Their hair stands on top of their head. They drive the wrong type of car. So when you go out to meet people, just let people see you. Be real with yourself, and that way you can attain friends.
I love it. Elder Hunter, we'll just go on down.
You did mention realness just now, and I was thinking about that. Be you is all I need to say. Just be you.
Elder Damon.
Well, yeah, be real, genuine, not a gossiper. Be true.
Awesome. Minister Coco.
Ditto. Just be you. And be your real you.
Miss Kimberly.
Yeah, I agree with everyone. I just think you're best at being organic, your honest self.
Awesome. I love it. Tonight has been great, such great conversation. So I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Farrar.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. This was a wonderful conversation. I'm so excited that we got some nuggets about how to be better women when it comes to friendship. So tonight, if you need prayer or if you need to connect with us, I want you to do a favor and give us a call. Someone is here right now at the church waiting to receive your call at 704-399-5448. Again, that number is 704-399-5448. Also, I have two reminders. I want to remind the ladies for this week on March the 19th, we're going to be meeting with First Lady and the ladies of the church at My Sister and I Fellowship Luncheon. You do not want to miss this. We want to see your face in the place this Saturday. The event starts at 12:30 and is at McCormick and Smith's. It is $50 to be able to attend this Saturday. So please, tonight is the last night for you to register. So if you want to go, please go to Cash App, TCP Charlotte, to be able to pay your $50 to come out on Saturday. If you're not able to come, maybe you can sponsor another woman to come, and you can go ahead and do that as well. Also next week, we will be sitting at the feet of our bishop. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited to hear what Bishop has to say on our next Wednesday's talk. And the topic is everything my dad never told me. Woo, that's powerful. I cannot wait to hear what Bishop has to say about that. And we want you to be here next Wednesday night. Please, 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 if you have any questions, you can email the church, and we will try to make sure we get those questions over to Bishop to answer those things that our dad never told us. So now it's time for giving, where we all can be a part. I'll always remember that we're just giving God back a portion of what he's given us. So if this is your night to tithe, please do so at this time. And if you're not tithing tonight, we ask that you sow a seed into the kingdom, for we know that every seed that a man soweth, that shall he reap. And this year, we're putting good seed in the ground because we're believing God for the abundance. So again, there are several ways that you can give tonight. The first way you can give is Cash App, TCP Charlotte, or TCP Metro. You can also text to give at 77977. You can push pay and give to Greater Salem Church, and you could also go to greatersalem.org. If you would like to mail your tithes or your offerings in, please do so. Our address is 5318 Salem Church Road, Charlotte, North Carolina. That information was on the screen. Again, thank you so much for giving as we're believing God for a huge harvest, and we're grateful for the tithes and the offerings. I want to thank you tonight for joining us. I hope you got something wonderful from this event. I hope you learned something about being a better friend, being able to get over offenses, and just how to be you, bringing your authentic self, bringing you to the table so you can not only be a good friend, but you can receive good friendship. We pray that you were blessed and you were refueled by the information that was given today. And we want to invite you and please remind you to join this Sunday for our morning worship experience. I know we're going to have a high time in God, and God is going to do something mighty just like he does on every Sunday. Until next time, God bless you. And we will continue to keep you in our prayers. Bishop always says this when we start off service. We see ourselves in the future and we like what we see. We see ourselves in the future, and God, things are looking a whole lot better for TCP. We thank you for joining tonight. Until we meet again, have a blessed night and a wonderful evening.